When it comes to entertainment in my life, one of the many ways I detox after a long day or just chill is to either watch movies, TV shows, anime, and of course, video games. I know, so thrilling, right? But as I go through my life, the amount of movies I have watched have become less and less. I have become way pickier, and plus, I know I'm going to sound like an old head here, but they don't make a lot of films like they used to anymore. There are a lot of movies that I love near and dear to my heart that I can rewatch on a whim whenever I feel the need to, but lately, I just haven't for a long time.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
So the other night I got really bored and I grabbed a movie that I haven't seen in years, which I used to rewatch countless times almost a decade ago. And within minutes, I was reminded why it never gets old for me, no matter how much time has flown by. And in case you haven't already guessed what movie it is, well, today we are going to be talking about none other than Shaun of the Dead.
Player 2 has entered the game.
And you got work.
Player 2 has left the game.
Shaun of the Dead, directed by Edgar Wright, who would go on to direct projects like Baby Driver, as well as the rest of the so-called Cornetto trilogy, consisting of classic comedies like Hot Fuzz and The World's End. However, for a lot of people, including myself, consider Shaun of the Dead to be the best in the trilogy of movies. By no means am I saying Hot Fuzz is bad, because it is not. It is downright hilarious.
Right. What did he say?
Said edge is edge, huh? He only chopped him down because he couldn't see the view no more. What's he under?
What did he say?
He said an edge is an edge. He only chopped it down because it spoiled his view. What's Reaper moaning about?
On top of The World's End movie, who pays a lot of respect to these prior films, considering the similar casting and writing styles, as well as the same director and, well, you probably already guessed it, Edgar Wright.
Gary thinks we should keep up with the crew because they know what we're doing, but they don't know that we know what they're doing. And basically, no one else has a better idea. So fuck it.
The Shaun of the Dead cast does a brilliant job in this movie conveying the absurdity of the situation, as well as some of the most clever and well-written dialogue I have ever encountered in a movie. I'm not joking, the editing as well as the pacing is downright perfect. The movie plays with your expectations, like having the main characters treat a zombie apocalypse with the same lack of urgency as a normal day. And the humor comes from how the characters react in an utterly unprepared and nonchalant way. The shot that everyone references is at the start of the film when we see Shaun, who is played by Simon Pegg, go off to the grocery store for his morning routine. As you're watching, you realize that slowly the world behind these characters is going insane with the looming zombie threat unbeknownst to our protagonist. And I'm not gonna lie, the subtle things that play in the background is some of the funniest shit that you will see in a movie. Like, for instance, one of my favorite scenes is when Shaun is flipping through the TV stations. It is downright hilarious how this is edited.
Although no one official is prepared to comment, religious groups are calling it Judgment Day. There's
as an increasing number of reports of
Serious attacks on
people who are literally being eaten alive.
That same morning routine is then recreated shot for shot with a stark contrast where nearly everything is in ruins. It is such good filmmaking that I cannot justify enough of how funny and tense this is for a first-time viewer. I mean, Shaun is so oblivious that when he goes into the store to get his drink and ice cream, he trips on the same curb and slips into blood when he gets inside the store opening the fridge, but ignores it because of how tired he is. It is just perfect. I cannot emphasize enough that this movie is so rewatchable that we would be here all day if I was to do a thorough analysis on it. Just know that till this day, I am still seeing things that I haven't seen before, whether that be in the background or catching new dialogue. There is so much depth between the layered humor as well as the callbacks to this movie. It is unreal.
Yeah, totally.
I know he's your best friend, but you do live with him.
I know.
It's not that I don't like Ed. Ed, it's not that I don't like you.
Sorry?
Edgar Wright's directing style is on full display here, with not only quick cuts, but with heavy I can't fucking say that word. With heavy visualization. Okay, we're gonna roll with that one because for some reason I can't say this damn word. For instance, when Shaun is trying to come up with a plan with Ed, every time they think it out, it is a scene that is played with a different outcome or a corrected approach. I know, this sounds kind of dumb, but when you're watching the movie, you barely notice it because it doesn't come to a screeching halt to explain to the audience that, hey, this is gonna be a long exposition point where we're gonna dumb it down to show you what happens. No, instead it keeps them entertained, and these small details make the movie all the more enjoyable. It is just awesome.
We go over to Liz's place, hole up, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
Why have we got to go to Liz's?
Because we do.
She dumped you.
I have to know if she's all right.
Why?
Because I love her.
All right, gay.
But if you've never seen this movie before, you're probably asking yourself right about now, well, what is this besides being a horror comedy? Well, it's about Shaun. His life is a repetitive cycle of mediocrity, working a dead-end job, dealing with his lackluster social life, avoiding any real responsibilities or personal growth. His best friend Ed, who is played by Nick Frost, is holding him back, which he is reminded of countless times during the movie. He struggles with his girlfriend Liz, who is played by Kate Ashfield, where she wants Shaun to become a leader and do better with his life and get his act together.
To a wonderful mum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's because I thought it would be funny because what you said last night about me, you know, that would be my mum and that, and it's just a little joke. It's something I just thought of, spur of the moment.
They're for your mum, aren't they?
Yeah.
Along with that, Shaun also struggles with his family and his stepdad. But what I love about Shaun of the Dead is that you see this average guy who is stuck in a rut, and what forces him out of his comfort zone to become the person he needs to be. It's about growing up. And I'm not gonna lie, when this movie wants to do some serious scenes, it does it well, even if they are few and far between. Shaun wants to change his life, but he doesn't know how. And as an audience member, you see the potential in him. However, he just needs a push. And of course, that push comes from a zombie apocalypse. I mean, it's poetic, isn't it? And look, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record saying this again, but I will say, not seeing this movie in almost a decade reminded me of how much I really wanted to make a video on this. This movie single-handedly sparked my interest in editing for videos and content when I was younger because I was so blown away of how clean and quick the transitions were. Obviously, my editing is not that good compared to other YouTube channels on the platform, but nonetheless, I still give a lot of credit to this film for making me interested in doing content creation as a whole. And I know I touched on this earlier about the so-called layered humor, but man, even with that, I still laugh at nearly all the jokes in this movie. Everything from the immature jokes to the pranks that Ed does with Shaun and his roommate Pete at the beginning of the damn movie. It is amazing.
Since you're not working at the moment, could you please clean up a bit?
Yep.
And if you play the answer machine, could you take down everyone's messages, not just your own?
Yep.
It's not that taxing, is it?
Writing something on a little scrap of paper.
No.
Right. Dom.
To the visual comedy when Shaun goes to take a shortcut that I still quote to this day.
Just over there, over the 20 garden fences.
What's the matter, David? I've taken a shortcut before.
What this video can basically be summed up as, besides saying that I love Shaun of the Dead and I think that you should watch it, or, you know, it's a movie that I used to grow up watching and really enjoyed it, even to this day. But my main point of this video is that you should go back from time to time and rewatch things that you once enjoyed. The official term is called comfort watching because, well, let's just really face it, we all have those comfort movies along with comfort shows that we love to rewatch from time to time. Whether it's to feel some sort of familiarity when going through a rough time in life, or to just catch up on something that you once appreciated way back when, or hell, even just the other week. Regardless, it's about liking what you like and reminding yourself that sometimes life is all about the little things. I know that sounds really corny, but in an ever-changing world, it's nice to go back and revisit something that makes you smile, or just have that warm nostalgic feeling. Shaun of the Dead is one of my many movies I love to go back and rewatch, as well as being an all-time favorite for me. It's a classic, sure, but more importantly, it's a film I will never stop enjoying. So, what are you waiting for? Go back, go rewatch some of your old movies that you haven't seen for a long time, or that show that you never got around to rewatching, even though you really wanted to. It is perfectly fine and there's nothing wrong with it. Or hell, even if you're a video game guy like myself, it's okay to go replay Mass Effect for like the third time. I mean, it's perfectly fine. It's all good. In all seriousness, though, I would love to know the comfort shows, the comfort movies that you have on in the background while you're laying in bed after a long day, or hell, just even while you're laying down on the couch for a while because you're just exhausted. It's okay to rewatch things, and you should do it. But other than that, guys, please stay safe out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know the uploads have been a little bit slow on the channel recently. I have started up a new job and I am going through some personal things at the moment right now, but don't worry, the channel is still going. I still love making videos and I love putting them out and watching you guys enjoy them and comment on them. It's one of the best things, honestly. I cannot thank you enough for being so supportive and appreciative of this channel. But other than that, please take care of yourselves, be safe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.